As 2023 winds down, one highlight is the gathering of countries in Dubai to assess the impact of activities on our climate. While COP28 called for tripling renewable energy capacity globally and doubling the global average annual rate of energy efficiency improvements by 2030, some experts say this first global stock take may have missed the chance of a roadmap to accelerate action. What questions were left unresolved and what issues need to be addressed before the next conference of parties in 2024?
Another climate change has ended in the United Arab Emirates, UAE. COP28. It marks the halfway point. 7 years since the Paris Agreement was made and 7 left to make halving emissions a reality. It also marks the first ever global stocktake, presenting the chance to reflect on progress on businesses, governments and society unite to bridge the gap between climate ambition and action, an action the world hasn't seen much of. Another concern is to see the soundbite change from countries saying they support and are committed to working with the transition to net zero to real-time action. Driving the energy transition and other areas of action requires collaboration between governments and business leaders, playing their part by supporting both the public and private sectors to turn climate ambitions into actions. One of the biggest debates in the summit is on fossil fuel, a signal that may be the beginning of the end. Sadly, COP28 did not front-load the apparent negative impact of fossil fuels on our world. This seeming slip may slow down action as some big oil industries may resist the urgency to transition, as most of the governments are subsidizing oil and gas production while lowering taxes and royalties. Where does Nigeria or Africa stand to benefit from COP28 and others before now? This, no doubt, is a challenge, and how the world tackles this could well be on the agenda in the next gathering on the world's climate.
Well, let's have this conversation with retired Air Vice Marshal Akugbe Iyamu, who is the President Association of Climate Protection and Climate Change Practitioners. Very warm welcome, AVM.
It was good to be here.
Yeah, it's always been a jamboree, like we saw the Nigerian delegation to COP28 in Dubai, almost 1,000, over 1,000 delegates. But let's look at, it took time, first before the communique came out on the issue of fossil fuel, which is always top on the agenda. COP28, finally named fossil fuels as the climate problem. But do the leaders really have the will to act?
Yes, thank you for having me. If you look at, before we look at COP20, you look at COP27, what was there? It was loss and damage that was being orchestrated. Now, what did we do with that? We never did anything. What it was just like pouring rice on the ground for the chicken to come and pick. You see, what the developed countries always do is that they give you a situation that is very calm and reassuring for you. The vulnerable countries, you remain there. Now, if you look at it, you see, the world left the Stone Age because there were no stones. But the world is not going to leave fossil fuel because there is no fossil fuel. What we got now is the best under the circumstances. Don't forget, by November 21, Mary Robinson from Ireland asked the president of COP28, are you ready to stand for the removal of fossil fuel? He said, look, he has never seen any scenario or science-backed thing that fossil fuel is responsible for
the climatological conditions we're having now.
For the global
meltdown,
global warming. That was science denying, and that was anarchy. That was anarchy. So what we got now is very, very good. But the environmental social group is saying that, look, it's not enough. Okay, you are saying that equitable, orderly, and transition of fossil fuel, then you are going to put $700 million for countries that are disproportionately affected. You are going to raise renewable energy 3 times. You are going to raise energy efficiency. Very good. Very good. But at the pre-conference was that, look, let's put livelihood, let's put humanity, let's put nature at the heart of climate change. You live there and come to Nigeria. You see, the rapidity of the UNFCCC and IPCC has always been coming. You know, when I had this decision, I was so excited. But I felt very sad for Nigeria as an oil-producing country. Mm-hmm. It is sad. Because what is going to happen now? Fossil fuel is gone. It's irreversible and inevitable. What will happen to us? That is almost the only item.
But you just said that a decision about that is, very difficult to reach. Just like, let me tell you what, for example, the American government has done. In America, there's been an Inflation Reduction Act. That's an act of, Congress, which was passed in 2022.
Yes.
It includes $368 billion for action to reduce greenhouse emissions, support clean energy, and encourage electrification. Where is Nigeria's own climate investment, or Africa's investment?
You see, before we're going, what was our plan of engagement? You could, 2 days to, you could Google the website of countries like Guinea, South Africa, Mozambique, and all. Mozambique told you that, look, I'm going for 80 billion renewable energy. Very bold. Yeah. Very bold. Yeah. You see, we
didn't have
there was no plan. There was not. We just
with all the gas emission and the rest, and the laws about reducing gas emission in Nigeria, it looks more pecuniary than the action to reduce that energy waste on the environment. And
yes, I want to go back to what you said about the U.S. You see, look, fossil fuel is almost the only item that we export.
Yeah.
80% of our foreign exchange comes from there. And we're going to be affected by 2 channels. Our foreign reserve is going to be depleted with this new consensus now. With every consensus come the loophole. Our energy mix is going to be affected. You understand? Because the investors in fossil fuel now, their environmental shareholders are going to be telling them to pull out. What is going to happen? You're going to have the IOCs abandoning their facilities in places like, say, the Niger Delta. So there's already, you see, immediately this consensus was reached, I expected to see an urgency in Nigeria. People to start thinking, because there's not going to be money for let me use the word junketive to hunger and COP28 again. No, it's going to be a very, very serious problem, because these 2 channels that I'm telling you now, we really need to quickly think, go back to agriculture. You see,
but you see, going back to agriculture and the rest, is it the same subsistent agriculture, that Africa has been practicing and the rest? The deterioration of, the Sahel region from Libya down through Mali, through Chad and the rest, and nobody is trying to reflate the Sahara again, or even the Lake Chad. I remember an action in France, where countries agreed to come and reflate the Lake Chad, where the source of the water is going to come from, whether from the Congo, through Niger and the rest. It is still an issue yet unresolved.
You see, that of reflecting the Lake Chad then, I did a research on it, and I spoke against it, that was a waste of resources. every year we have wastage of water, Lokoja, Aziz, and what are we doing with them? You go to Congo. You're just going to waste the resources. Now, going there, I want to quickly say, look, you see, if you see the hunger index now, we are 103 out of 121. Now, take a crop like cassava. Cassava alone. Cassava was brought from the US by the Portuguese in the 17th century.
From Brazil.
Yes, brought here to Nigeria. Now, if you see country like Thailand, what they are doing with it? Yet we are still under 1 million in cassava. They are doing 3.8 billion US dollars on cassava because the sweeteners, the pellets, and everything, they are out there, and yet we are the largest producer of cassava in the world. You see, the oil now is gone.
It's
Irreversible.
the value addition.
Value
that is the
addition,
problem.
irreversible and inevitable. Now, the developed countries can have the money to do extra and non-traditional oil exploration, but our own NNPC is not in that category. It's not in that category because you see, this decision was taken against the prostrate UAE. Even the so-called cartel that you call it, OPEC, could not stand on its way. It has started and it will begin to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
let us look at another critical area of the environment before we go. We're talking about the global plastic treaty, which came on with the United Nations Environmental Departmental Summit. You know, my question is going to be, what kind of progress has Nigeria made to address plastic pollution? Well, we don't seem to know the grave effect it is having, you know, that with almost 100% of the waste, it's being released, for example, into uncontrolled dump sites, burned in open pits, or released into terrestrial or aquatic environments. What is Nigeria doing here?
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
You see, I think we have about 42 million tons of plastic annually. Now, people are adding value to plastic now. For every 1 ton of plastic, you generate 1 megawatt of electricity. People are looking beyond. It's not called waste again. It's not called waste. Now,
it's waste to wealth.
It's waste to wealth. Plastic has become very, very dangerous now because the microplastic goes to the atmosphere now and it's influencing the rain. So that is it. And you have whales now that is supposed to help in carbon capture. Plastic is killing them. You have the trawler nets and everything and all being there. So we need a very deliberate policy, like yesterday, to deal with plastics. Gather them. You see, that is a $1 billion industry on its own. You see, the US on its own.
The industry does not have to be gargantuan.
No,
you know, just normal cottage industries.
Some time ago, these bola pickers, I saw them packing them out of the street. You don't do, no. Organize them into a thrift society. The ones that are bad among them, remove them. This organize them into a thrift society and begin to create small and medium industries. Yes,
cottage,
yes. But they are still doing it. They say, only they need that. Okay, they were stealing. Even they were stealing, what are the agencies that are supposed to monitor them? What are they doing?
Well, a lot of issues to interrogate, and environmental issues are never ever ending.
Yes.
Especially if deliberate actions are not being taken
Very
by
deliberate.
government and the people
Very deliberate.
themselves. Thanks so very much.
Thank you.
AVM Akugbe Iyamu, an environmentalist, writer, and publisher, for coming to News.